Hey there, welcome back. Today we're talking about something that affects every single one of us every single day food. Specifically, what the government now says we should be eating. And honestly, it's a pretty big shift. So, the US just released new dietary guidelines for Americans. And the message is simple: three words: eat real food. That's it. That's the whole thing. But let me tell you why this matters and what it actually means for your plate. Let's start with the bad news. America is sick. Not sick of something, actually sick, chronically ill. Half of all Americans have prediabetes or diabetes, half 50%. 3 out of 4 adults have at least one chronic condition, and 90% of our healthcare spending goes toward treating chronic diseases, most of which are linked to what we eat. So, what happened? How'd we get here? Remember that old food pyramid from the 90s? The one with bread, cereal, rice, and pasta at the bottom? 6 to 11 servings a day? Yeah, that one. Turns out that wasn't great advice. For decades, we were told to fear fat, load up on grains, and we did. We followed the rules, and we got sicker. Rates of obesity, diabetes, heart disease all went up. The old pyramid prioritized foods that, frankly, weren't serving us. Lots of processed stuff, lots of refined carbs, not enough emphasis on what our bodies actually need to thrive. So here's the new approach: there's a new pyramid, and it's flipped. At the foundation now, protein, dairy, and healthy fats. That's the base, not bread. Protein, things like eggs, meat, seafood, full fat dairy, nuts, seeds, avocados. Real food, food you'd recognize, food your great grandmother would recognize. The guidelines now say we should aim for about 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. That's more than a lot of people are getting. And every meal should prioritize high quality protein. Both animal and plant sources count. Next up in the pyramid, vegetables and fruits. No surprise there. But here's what matters: whole, colorful, nutrient dense, in their original form. Not fruit juice, not fruit snacks, actual fruits, actual vegetables. The target is 3 servings of vegetables a day and 2 servings of fruit. Pretty doable. A salad at lunch, some roasted broccoli at dinner, an apple for a snack. You're there. And grains, they're still in there, but they're at the top now. Smaller portion of your diet, and it has to be whole grains: oats, brown rice, real sourdough bread, the kind with like 5 ingredients you can pronounce, refined carbs, and processed grain products. They want us to cut way back on those. 2 to 4 servings a day of the good stuff. That's the recommendation. Now let's talk about what's not in this new pyramid. Added sugars. They're out. The guidelines say added sugars are not part of eating real food. Not recommended, especially for kids. That's a pretty strong statement. The naturally occurring sugars in fruit and plain dairy, those are fine. But the stuff that gets dumped into cereals, sodas, flavored yogurts, granola bars, that's what they want us avoiding. Here's another big change: they're ending what they call the war on fat. For years we were told fat makes you fat. Avoid the yolks. Skim milk only. Butter is the enemy. Turns out that was wrong too. Healthy fats from real foods are now encouraged. Think about it: fatty fish like salmon, eggs with the yolks, full fat yogurt, olive oil, nuts, avocados. These fats support brain health, hormone function, and help your body absorb nutrients. They're not the enemy, they never were. So, what is the enemy? Ultra processed foods. That's the big villain in this story. Foods made in factories with ingredients you can't find in nature, industrial seed oils, artificial flavors, preservatives, added sugars hiding under 17 different names. The guidelines are calling this out for the first time. Highly processed foods are a danger, and we need to rebuild from the ground up. Now, here's the good news: this isn't a strict diet. Nobody's saying you can never have cake at a birthday party. The new pyramid is a flexible framework, a guide, not a rulebook. It supports cultural traditions, personal preferences, different lifestyles. The core goal is simple: eat real foods most of the time, not all the time, most of the time. That's achievable for almost everyone. Let me give you some practical takeaways, things you can actually do starting today. First, Look at your plate. Is there protein on it? High quality protein should be at every meal. Eggs for breakfast, chicken or fish at lunch and dinner, nuts as a snack. Start there. Second, add vegetables. Half your plate should be vegetables. More color, more variety. Frozen counts, canned counts. Fresh is great but not required. Third, check your drinks. Are you drinking your calories? Sodas, sweet coffees, juice, energy drinks. Switch to water or unsweetened beverages. That's an easy win. Fourth, read the ingredients, not just the nutrition label, the actual ingredients list. If it's got a bunch of stuff you don't recognize, maybe put it back. Fifth, cook more. When you cook, you control what goes in. You don't need to be a chef. Scrambled eggs, grilled chicken, steamed vegetables, simple stuff, real food. Look, our nation got off track. Decades of bad advice, processed food everywhere, marketing telling us sugar coated cereal is part of a balanced breakfast. We believed it, and it made us sick. But this is a reset, a chance to get back to basics. Real food, food that looks like food, food that nourishes instead of just fills. Better health begins on your plate, not in your medicine cabinet. That's straight from the guidelines, and honestly, it makes sense. Eat real, feel real. It's not complicated. Alright? That's the new dietary guidelines for Americans in a nutshell. Eat real food, prioritize protein, load up on vegetables, go easy on the processed stuff, and don't fear the fat. If you want to explore more, you can check out Living Diabetes. Thanks for listening. Take care of yourselves and go eat something real.